Somebody else that's coming. A couple guys. What's that guy's name? That guy who throws around like 700 pounds on the bench. Eric Spoto. Ever heard of him? Saw a video of him recently benching 700 pounds. I actually heard a lot of great stories about Eric from his boy and my boy, until he's not my boy any longer, Creed. I know you're out there, Creed. I know you're listening. Probably taking a dump while you're watching this right now. But anyway, I want to thank Creed as well, because he has helped put this whole thing together. Kind of the man behind the scenes behind all this. This isn't just all Mark Bell magic. Can't do everything by yourself. You always need a little bit of help. Anyway, back to Eric Spoto. The guy is an absolute savage, an absolute animal, an absolute beast, benching around 700. I think he did he smoked 700. I think he did 675 for triple recently. Looked pretty easy. He benched around 765 in a Mad Dog slingshot from howmuchyoubench.net. He has just been ripping through some enormous lifts, and every single one of his lifts has like 20,000 views, 30,000 views, 40,000 views, but everyone has the same question. Can he touch his chest? Can he pause the weight? Can he do it when it matters? Can he do it on the platform? Well, we will find out November 3rd at Super Training Gym. We will see what Eric Spoto is made out of. And I'm rooting for him. I'm behind him 100%. I want to see the guy tear up some big benches. I want to see him hit a 740, 750 raw bench. That would be absolutely remarkable and absolutely insane. I've actually heard that he does a Cuban press with a 110-pound fixed barbell. I heard he's got incredible grip strength, incredible squatting strength as well. A lot of people don't know that about him. Incredible shoulder strength. He throws around 220-pound dumbbells like they're nothing. But a Cuban press is a lift where you bring the weight up to your nippies and then you rotate it back and you do like rotator cuff movement. So he's doing that with a 110-pound fixed barbell like it's nothing. We also have my boy, Mr. 865-pound squat recently, raw, Stan the Rhino Efferding. Stanley has just been going crazy with his training. 865 squat in training, 835 pull in training. So look for this guy to just put together some absolutely enormous numbers. In my opinion, he's the greatest raw powerlifter that ever lived. Although I haven't seen some of the old-time guys, I can't imagine anybody being stronger and more explosive than Rhino. Keep in mind, I've seen people up close. I've seen a lot of great lifters over the years. Unfortunately, I never saw Ed Cohn lift in person. But Stan Efferding is the most explosive lifter that I've ever seen. I used to train at Westside Barbell when Chuck Vogelpool was there, and many other top athletes, and those guys were unbelievably powerful, unbelievably explosive, but no one is as explosive as the Rhino. I'm telling you guys, you've never seen anything like it in your life. And when it gives away those squat secrets, those squat tips about keeping your coil tight and keeping yourself wound up and then springing out of that position and squatting as explosively as you can, it really is like he's got a hydraulic jack inside of him, or he's got some sort of loaded coil or loaded spring inside of his body. I've never seen anything like it in my powerlifting career before. Who else we got coming to this thing? Sorry if I'm leaving you out. Anybody? Hope I'm not leaving anybody out. Got Spoto. We got the Lillibridge brothers. Maybe Pops might get involved. I can't imagine the dad coming out all this way and not at least getting involved in a deadlift. Although he's going to be out here coaching and working with his kids, making sure that they lift the absolute best they can. We also have Chris Hickson. Some of you may not have heard of him before, but he also deadlifts over 800 pounds. Not a big-time bencher, but squats pretty good for being a taller, thin guy. So look for him to put up some pretty big numbers. All in all, we should have like 6 or 7 dudes pulling like 800 pounds. Anybody else want to get involved? Anybody else think they can beat Stan Efferding or Eric Lillibridge or Dan Green or some of these savages that are coming out here? Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. If you're scared, go to church. That's from Ice Cube. We got to get back to this Carb Nite question real quick. We're running pretty long on this video. I apologize for that, my ramblings, but I wanted to hype up the November 3rd meet. So back to Carb Nite real quick. I took 1 full week off of Carb Nite and just carved up like a mofo, pretty much with backloading. So I was still following some of the procedures of Carb Nite during the day. After 5 o'clock, after 6 p.m., somewhere in that range, I would just start to load up on carbohydrates. And I kind of ate whatever I wanted. Pizza, ice cream, cookies, kind of the whole 9 yards. It wasn't a crazy load up. I wasn't getting like overly, wasn't getting overly crazy with it. But it was pretty good load up. And I got up to about I gained about 12 pounds from it or something like that. I mean, it was a good load up. I went from 251 to like 265 or 266, somewhere in that range. And right now I'm at 256 again after going back on Carb Nite. Now, part 2 of Carb Nite, or phase 2 as I would call it, that Jesse Burdick has me running. You can read all this stuff on dangerouslyhardcore.com. You can buy the book, Carb Nite, or Carbohydrate Backloading. I'm giving you a lot of information here at the Power Project about it as well. But Jesse Burdick has basically, and with the advice of John Kiefer, of course, they basically have me just eating carbohydrates during my training. So during my training session, I'll throw down about 50 grams of carbohydrates, 30 to 50 grams of carbohydrates. And coincidentally, that's exactly what the Rhino does. Rhino does the same thing. He throws down some carbs during his training. Kind of eats carbs throughout the day, though. He's got a different plan, and he's extremely lean, so it doesn't really matter as much. He's going to chew up those carbohydrates a lot better than most of us. But I have my carbohydrates during training. Once I kind of break a sweat, or once I'm done with the main movement, I'll start sipping down that protein carbohydrate mixture. After that, I will... I get my stuff from TrueNutrition.com, just so you have a reference point. You can mix up carbs and protein whatever way you want. You can flavor it whatever way you want. So there you have it. Let's see, what else I've been doing. Sometimes I'll even have another carb meal after that. I've also been doing I normally don't have another carb meal after that. Normally it's only during the training session, but here and there, if I feel like I really busted my ass, if I got a PR, I'll allow myself to have some more carbs with dinner. And I'm also having a pre-workout carbohydrate, and that's basically been coming in the form of a Perfect Foods bar. You could kind of eat whatever you want at that point. I mean, you could, not whatever you want, but you could certainly have like rice, potatoes, fruit, whatever. You want to have it about an hour to 2 hours before your training session, somewhere in that range. 60 to 90 minutes would probably be desirable. And in the Perfect Foods bar, it's got like 10-12 grams of fat, it's got like 30 grams of carbs, and it's got like 15 grams of protein or something like that. So it's just like a small snack. Usually I'll eat, and the meal that I eat before that doesn't normally have carbs in it, and then about an hour or so before the training session, I'll throw down one of those bars. But like I said, you can easily eat a potato, sweet potato, whatever, rice, a Japanese sweet potato with a little bit of butter on it. It's one of the best damn things in the world. Look for those things, and you will be thoroughly delighted. I think that concludes everything here from supertraining.tv and dangerouslyhardcore.com. I'm Mark Bell, and I'll see you tomorrow. Later.